My channel is really interesting, the YouTube channel, because we have certain topics that we get into that YouTube doesn't like sometimes. Unfortunately, this is the day we live in. And some videos get these flags. Whenever that happens, like everything just slows down and then we have to wait for it to pick up. Like there was a video, I don't know if you know this about, you probably know this because you know everything about YouTube, but there was a video we did. I'm not going to talk about the specific thing we spoke about, but YouTube sent a warning to us. They took the video down and said, your account is under probation until the end of December of last year. And if you have this happen again, we're going to terminate your account. And I submitted an appeal, submitted all the studies to back up what we said. And they were really good studies and they denied the appeal. And they made me do this digital re-education concentration camp. This is not a lie.
No way.
Where in order to get my account back open, I had to answer 12 questions. And I did not agree with the questions, but I had to agree to the questions in order for me to get my account back. But ever since that happened, the account slowed down and then it picked up. So it's really weird, some of the things that happens with our specific channel. I know this is a long answer to your question, but that's some of the things we've seen recently. It's been wild, dude.
Well, that's, it brings up this topic of shadow banning. And I know we've touched on this. I think some people take it to the extreme. I think some people denying that it exists. It does exist as well. I want to clarify two things. One, you mentioned though, before that if it triggered something in terms of the subject matter, you felt the whole channel slow down a little bit after that?
Yeah, I did.
So that it's like I was almost throttled down in terms of your distribution.
Yeah. Yeah. There's also, Sean, the biggest keto YouTuber, Dr. Eric Berg. He's got over 11 million YouTube subscribers. He actually emailed me a few months ago. I didn't even think it was him. I thought I've never interviewed him or connected with him before. And he's like, hey, it's Dr. Berg. I love your work. I'd love to talk to you about something. My assistant forwarded it to me and she goes, I think it's spam. And I said, I think it's spam too, but ask him about his availability. And he said he's available at this time. We sent him the Zoom link and I'm on the Zoom like, am I getting catfished? Who's going to show up on the Zoom call? But I'm waiting there and it actually was him. So we had a great conversation. I didn't even know he was a big fan of my work. I'm a big fan of his. But what he told me is that in May of last year, his YouTube channel went from getting on average 100 million views per month to 25 million views per month. And he would rank for all the keto terms, keto, Dr. Berg, keto this, Dr. Berg. All that's gone. And all that's showing up now are these different like Mayo Clinic things talking negative about keto. And there's a big pushback against keto right now. And here's the reason why we think it is. Because there's a big, and I don't want to get off topic here, but there's an agenda for a plant-based diet and keto goes against that. And they're really coming after keto. You can see these vegan documentaries coming out. So his channel is getting throttled like crazy. And I'm just a small sliver of that because my channel is not as big as his, but he's seeing it too, Sean. And he's really concerned about what's happening there.
So I'm curious for somebody who's maybe feeling like they're getting shadow banned, somebody that's dealing with subject matter that the higher ups, the big corporations, Google parent company, whatever. For somebody that is dealing with that, have you considered premium only content, channel membership only, or like a separate only content, and realizing that maybe just some subject matter could go elsewhere? Or what are your thoughts? How are you reacting to that? To think about, I still want to leverage the distribution. I still want to leverage impacting people. I still want to change lives. Ignoring YouTube, I don't think is the answer because for all of the above reasons. But what do you do? What's your plan this year going forward?
Yeah, we actually so definitely not ignoring YouTube. YouTube is the play. Don't get me wrong here. I agree with Sean. Like YouTube is the play. And we understand that. We understand how powerful YouTube is, how powerful YouTube will be. Saving all my content is what I'm doing. We have everything on different drives just in case. So making sure we save everything. But we are getting creative on YouTube. So that same guest that I had in the summer that our video got taken down, that video was going viral too before it got taken down. We brought him back, but I said we have to use keywords. So I guess I could share. I mean, I'll share the keywords and I think your audience will know what I meant by it. So instead of using the actual word that got us banned, we use the words safe and effective choice. I think your audience gets it. Instead of using a certain word, we use the word toxic protein. I think your audience gets that too. So we just got creative, and we did another conversation, and that video has over 244,000 views now in the last month or so, and we just didn't use those words that YouTube doesn't like. So that's what we're doing. We're just getting creative with the way we say things.
It's interesting. My friend Ruslan, who creates faith-based content, will talk about a lot of subject matter that, again, media, kind of mainstream media, might get throttled or shadow banned. There's definitely that opportunity to just use different words, and your audience can get it, and that's interesting. I also think, the example being Candace Owens interviewed Andrew Tate, a very polarizing and long form conversation, but there were moments where it kind of blurred out them, and some text came out that said, if you want to see the full uncut conversation, it's available on Daily Wire Plus, which not that tactically should just be a money-making play, but I think that's an interesting thought. People who are your super fans that are really resonating with you will, I think, want to support the movement. They want to support the message. They want to support what's happening. Two, you give a legitimate reason of why a paywall exists. And then three, you do take the conversation off platform. JP Sears, conservative comedian, and also is active on Rumble, and then of course building his newsletter. And I think your tip about backing up your content, diversifying your platforms could be really is incredibly powerful. Some people also Ruslan will have full conversation on Patreon because, again, many different reasons you could do it. All said under the wrapper and the umbrella of quoting you, YouTube is the play. So I think some people, I understand this gets emotional, censorship, free speech. Gets emotional, but I think the wise evaluate the landscape, evaluate the chessboard, and then just make strategic moves. And I think there's a world where that you just, what are the rules of the game, and learn how to play the rules of the game. We could get overly romantic about wishing they were different or arguing over whether the rules are ethical or right. We could argue all day. Let's learn how to play chess. And there's some really insightful thoughts that you have there. If you enjoyed this podcast and are ready for some deep dive YouTube strategy, just go to thinkmasterclass.com to get access to my 1 hour on-demand YouTube strategy class. You'll be looking over my shoulder as I share my best tips, and you can watch it on demand right now at thinkmasterclass.com.